Well, it's always good to get a win. First time since 2009 the University of Florida scored as opening possession. I bet you didn't know that, so that's a heck of a deal. I've said all week, all of training camp, and when I started watching these guys, February, whenever we got off the road recruiting, they got a really good offensive football team, and I think defensively played very well. Reedy will be as good as slot guys will play. Russell's a talented guy outside. Owens, Fluellen, the tempo, the issues they present. Very proud of how we manage the game defensively. I really liked our balance offensively. When you're able to run it as effectively as we did, we went into the game knowing we didn't want to take 80, 90 snaps on defense, and it's a team football game, and we wanted to be able to effectively run the ball. We did. Disappointed we missed a couple down the field. We had some shots, and very disappointed we didn't hit those, but those are going to come. I've seen those hit all through camp, and that's going to happen for us. But the balance offensively, keeping them off the field. When you play a tempo team, it's a team game, and I thought our guys did a fantastic job of that and really played well defensively. Special teams controlled the vertical field position of the game. They came out a little different set in the punt, and we were able to make some adjustments. Marcus Roberson did a fantastic job returning punts, and we got him we flipped the field several times. So disappointed with penalties. Again, we did not take guys out defensively. I was worried about their substitution and their tempo. We've got the self-inflicted issues, hurt us again today. Really the first half offensively, you take 5 drives, we score on 3. We have a 3rd and 2. We have an illegal procedure, puts us to the 3rd and 7, puts us behind the sticks, and then the one corner pressure that we missed the protection on that. We got beat on the other time. The ball got knocked off Jeff on 3rd down. So we got to secure the ball a little better in those situations. We got to protect a little better. But again, I think we did some nice things in the throwing game, especially with some new faces. Start of the 3rd quarter offensive was disappointing to go 3 and out those 2 consecutive series and coming out something that we've worked in the stadium twice in camp of coming in the locker room and going back in that heat and being able to play fast coming out. And we didn't do that, so that was disappointing. But I'm very, very pleased with the win. Whenever you line up, you want to win. And I think those guys got a good team. Red zone defense was outstanding. He got down there twice, once off a turnover, and able to force them to a field goal is huge. And, our guys, again, I think defensively played well. Thought we tackled well for a first game, which is always an issue. But, pleased with the win.
Team, Will, could you just talk, as far as the game plan today, how vanilla was it? Because it didn't look like you threw a lot of rain. There was a couple plays where there was a wrinkle here or there, but it looked like you stayed to basic.
Well, we wanted to run the ball because of what they do offensively. We did not want to get into a 80, 90 play deal. Obviously, we were down some defensive players today, and our game plan was basically to have possession of the ball offensively, to be able to run the ball effectively, to take some shots down the field, and we missed a couple. But we wanted to win the game, and I didn't want to get into a situation where we're playing 80, 90 snaps in this heat, and we were short some players defensively. We were trying to rotate in upwards only about 6 or 7 guys up front defensively. That's not enough. Damon Jacobs was very questionable coming into the game. I didn't know how many snaps he was going to give. Obviously Darius Cummings was suspended for the game. So we were down some guys defensively, and I didn't want to get into an 80, 90 snap deal on defense. I just didn't want to do that. So we wanted to take care of the football. We felt like we could run the ball, which we did very effectively. Wanted to be more efficient in throwing the ball and really starting to, I'm very pleased with the first half offensively. I thought we played very well. And then the one turnover was disappointing, and then the jump off sides on 3rd and 2. But then the second half, just starting the 3rd quarter was very disappointing offensively.
Could you also talk about the pressure that you were able to get defensively, even on some short, quick throws?
Right. Well, we mixed in DJ and our defensive staff did a really good job of mixing 3 down and 4 down, and that's very hard to ID in protection. And we had some free runners at the quarterback, especially early in the game. They did a good job of adjusting in the second half, and then they went to more of what I would call a 20 look, and they had 2 backs, and they did a nice job of making some adjustments there. But, no, we did a really good job of rushing 4 guys. And we didn't pressure as much till late in the game because we were pressuring well with 4, and he was trying to get rid of the ball as quickly as possible.
Edgar up front.
Yeah, thoughts on just the way Matt Brown ran the ball, particularly in the first half, and also Driscoll's presence?
Matt was, Mac is a guy that's talented. You just got to get an opportunity to play. He's played behind some good players here. And But nothing shocks me what he did today. I mean, I was expecting him to run hard and run well, and he did. And I thought Jeff played well. I thought Jeff was accurate with the football. He had the ball knocked off of him twice. We got to secure the ball better in the pocket in those situations. That's going to happen in our league. And I thought he was accurate with the football down the field. You know, had some good opportunities. Got his in and out of the right run game, and was pleased with that.
Mike and then Pat over to the right, Mike in the middle. Go ahead.
Well, you lost 8 or 9 starters from the defense last year. Do you think this defense can be as good as it was last year?
That's my expectation all the time. You know, we've been good everywhere we've been.
Pat and then Gary over here left. Pat to the right.
Well, you talked in the offseason about how much you liked your roster, your locker room. With all the suspensions and injuries and illnesses and everything, was that on display here that you still had guys to step up?
Our guys, I mean, you know, I announced our football team last Thursday. We were going to be down some guys. They knew who I was talking about because they were all on special teams. I told them exactly who they were, and they made a mistake. We have consequences in our program. Our players understand that. They move forward. They've understood that we're not going to make excuses at Florida regardless of injury, sickness, whatever the situation may be. And we're just going to move forward. And that's why you recruit, and that's why you have a deep roster. That's why you recruit guys that don't ask you about the depth chart 400 times. You recruit guys that want to come in here and compete. Vernon Hargraves didn't ask me about the depth chart.
Gary over here to the left.
Coach, what was the spark for putting Valdez over on offense? And do you foresee that giving you a little lift, a little different change up?
He's different than what we have. You know, he's a top end speed guy. I want to say it was either 1,800 or 2,000 yards in high school. We almost did it my first year. If you remember when Jeff went down early in the year and Chris Rennie was banged up, Mike had a hip. I think we want to say it was the Auburn game, somewhere in there. I almost moved Valdez, took him out of his red shirt and put him at running back. I think we even practiced him 1 or 2 days at running back. I can't remember exactly, but I know we had extensive conversations about it. We felt like he's a guy that's really special with the ball in his hands. And there's nothing shocked me today of what he did. He's a guy that's got really good top-end speed. He's got good ball skills. He was a guy that was going to probably be in the rotation of 3 guys at the safety position. But we just felt like it was a good move for our football team to put him on offense.
Thomas in the back end of the net here now.
Yeah, Will, the interception with Vernon, can you talk about what happened on the play? I think it was Bullard got pressure.
Yeah, we were in man coverage. We brought a 4-man, pressure to the back. They motioned the back out. They emptied the backfield. We executed the stunt really well up front. We had good pressure with Naran ball off the edge. I think Bullard was hitting a stunt inside, and then he made a fantastic play on a big receiver and a good player. It was just really an outstanding play.
Matt up front.
Will Ronald Powell get him on the field, the impact he made, and him and Dominic Easley both seem to kind of be in the backfield, Toledo's backfield all day long.
Well, Ronald's a really good player, and he's a guy that's been through a lot of hardships, and to see him on the field today was very pleasing to see. He's a really good leader. Our guys respond to him. Football's really important to him, and because of the injuries, even more so. So it's great to have him back out on the field. I'm really, really happy for him.
Dave all the way in the back of the middle to the left, coach.
Yeah, Coach, one more thing about Hargraves. Can you go through the decision to put him in at the time you did in this game?
Well, we kind of, when we meet as a staff and we go into any game, especially the first game, we talk in terms of who are the guys we know we're going to play regardless, and he was one of those guys defensively. There was going to be no conversation about putting him in the game, like somewhat of DeMarcus Robinson and Ahmad Fullwood offensively. There's no conversation. And then I have guys that we talk about, okay, before we put this guy in, let's have a conversation to make sure the situation of the game and we're putting it in. But Vernon's a really good player. He missed some time in camp with the shoulder. He's a guy that, possibly was going to be our starting nickel at the time, was running with our first group. So what we did is let him play one position the latter part of camp and played corner. And, again, he's a really good football player.
Kevin over here to the left.
Just to follow up, what gives you the kind of confidence that you have in Hargraves to play that time you play?
The confidence in him?
Yeah.
So he practices really good. And that's how I look at it. I look at the guys that go compete and practice every day, and when I turn on the film, they're productive, and they play against good players, and they go compete against those guys. They don't back down from anybody. Very cerebral, very smart. The game comes very easy, very well to him, and he works hard at the game. He's up in our offices all the time watching film, so it's easy to play guys like him.
Was the plan going in to give Matt Brown that kind of carries, or he kind of?
he earned it, in my opinion. I think that we got in there, we talked on the headsets a little bit, and, Brent and Brian really felt like he was running well and running hard and running tough. And you saw what Mark did late in the game. We think Mark's a talented back. We think Kelvin Taylor's a talented guy too. So, but no, Mac deserved that. That was he was a guy that had the hot hand. And sometimes you get in those situations, you go in the game and say, we want to get these carries here, we want to get this, we want to spread this here. Had a little bit more of a package for Valdez. We didn't use as much of that. But Mac was running the ball well. We felt like that's what we wanted to stick with.
What does it say about Valdez that he's acclimated to as big a role as all of
Well, Valdez is a competitor. And he's a very competitive kid. I've been with him for the safety position for 2 years, and a guy that really competes and goes after it. And it's football, again, very important to Valdez. He spends a lot of time in our offices as far as watching film and studying the game. So just really, happy for him to be able to go out there and contribute a huge third down conversion on the flip play, but made some other nice runs and decisions in the passing game.
Jeff in the middle.
How much was this game a testament to the quality of your depth? All the, a couple offensive linemen out, all the running backs who played and played well, 9 starters on defense.
I think we were down about, if you look at everybody that was actually not supposed to play, probably 8 guys that next week will be playing for us. So, it is what it is. Your job is to go win the game and do what you got to do to win the game, and that's what we did. And again, I wish we had started the second half a little better offensively. Other than that, I was pleased with the win.
Chris, all the way in the back.
Yeah, Coach, given that you had 8 players out, how much better do you guys expect to be in week 2?
Well, they always say your most improvements from week 1 to week 2, so we hope that adage continues. But again, I thought defensively we played very well, and I thought we were very balanced offensively in this game. I thought we did a good job on special teams. There's some things we need to clean up, as far as some protection things. I thought we lost leverage on the formation defensively a couple times, and then just the silly penalties. We got to get that out of our system, which I've been saying that for 3 years.
And Trey was your leading pass catcher today. Dominic had your first sack on defense. How much did you rely on those seniors, the veterans, to get you guys out of it?
Well, there's no question. Those guys are the guys that have been and done it before and done it at a high level. So Trey Burton's going to play well for Florida. Dominic Easley's going to play well for Florida. Those guys understand the daily grind it takes to be successful. They understand Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, getting ready for a game, mentally getting ready for it. A lot of young guys in that locker room were, they were a little big-eyed walking out of the locker room, but it did for them to get that experience. I think we played 15 freshmen. I think 8 or 9. True, and then 7 redshirt guys. So it's good to get those young guys playing the way it is in college football now. You got a bunch of guys coming out early that might just play them guys.
Quick question in the middle, and then Mark and Antonio.
Coach, all the guys that will be back next year, or next.
LaTroy Pittman will be out the next 2 games, but everyone will be back.
Okay.
Well, going back to Ronald for a minute, do you feel like a good gauge on how good he can be, or is that a guy that the further away he gets from the injury, he can keep progressing?
No, I think he's going to continue to improve. I think he had some anxiety hitting the field today, but that's natural. I mean, that's expected. That's normal. But I know just watching the game from the field, I thought he played fast. I thought he played physical. I thought he played well. He's where he was supposed to be. He's leveraged the ball well, tackled well, did a nice job on the one zone play, came across the formation, made a really nice play. So very pleased with his performance and what he did. And I think he's just going to continue to get better. We need to monitor his snaps and his reps at practice. That's the thing. We've done a good job of managing that, and we'll continue to do so.
Mark and then Antonio.
Did Matt Brown do enough in camp and in this game to maybe earn some reps there with Matt Jones in the back?
Absolutely. I mean, there's no question. The more a guy plays and the more he plays well, it gives you great confidence in putting him in the game and knowing he's going to play well. And that, again, I don't think that I'm speaking for the whole organization. We expected him to play extremely well today. We expected that to happen.
Antonio over to the left, and then Edgar in the front.
He had a sprained MCL, should be fine. I don't think we had any injuries. The DJ was a little sprained, but we think he's fine.
Edgar up front.
What was, when you looked at Jeff's performance, what were some things that you saw him do maybe that you didn't see him do, last September? I mean, what were some things today?
I don't know that it's put into numbers. It's command. It's understanding situations. It's getting on the ball, knowing we need to get it snapped, knowing when we needed to check the run to the counter on 2 situations where we had big gainers on the other side. We probably wouldn't have gotten to that last year. understanding he's protected on the one cat, that, corner pressure that got him. He was supposed to be protected there. So last year he probably would have been looking for the corner pressure. And people say, well, he shouldn't have fumbled the ball. Well, technically he understands the offense. He understands he should have been protected on it. So his eyes were downfield trying to throw the football. And that was a negative play for Florida. In my opinion, that's a positive play for Jeff Driscoll. Last year he'd have been looking for the corner pressure. Well, at times when you think you're protected, then you, at least you understand and you know. So that's, I don't know if I'm making sense here. But he understood he was protected on the situation. We need to fill it. We need to secure the ball better. But last year he'd have been looking for that. So, we had some design runs called for him that were more read situations that we didn't want him to carry the ball. He carried the ball a little more than I would have liked.
Question on the left, Fred. A couple more questions. Question on the left hand, Zach.
Okay. Just given the slow start last year, just how encouraging was to see the offense to go out and just really march the ball down the field and get the points on the board?
Well, I'm for it. So, but it was good. I mean, I just think the balance and being able to play a team game against a tempo offense. When we were able to go 3 and out defensively, we were back on the field, and you're able to continue to pound the ball and win the game. And that's what we really wanted to do. Again, you had a couple situations. We wish you'd have gotten the one reverse in for a touchdown there, and then the one deep over out probably would have been a score if we catch that and get it down the sideline. So it is what it is. We had some opportunities. We had the one rub route where we hit the field goal in the back of the end zone. Thought it was we're off a little bit there. So again, we had some shots, and we just got to make those happen.
Final questions. We're going to Zach, Chris, and then wrap it up with Gene.
Gideon got his first career start today, had 2 catches on that touchdown drive. What does he bring to you in the run game and the pass?
He's done an outstanding job blocking, protecting, catching the football. He'll throw his face in the fan. He's a guy that's really blossomed in the position, and that's why you always got to try and cross-train guys at different spots and see what they can do. And he did a fantastic job.
Was it the formation that got him that start? Joyner still
Well, no, Hunter's been slowed a little bit with a hamstring. He played today, but he had missed some reps as we start working through the week there, and we got a lot of confidence in Gideon. We don't, he's a guy that we've got a lot of confidence in. As good a player we think Hunter is, we think Gideon's a good player as well.
Chris in the back, and then Gene.
Coach, what would you tell the guys about having one under your belt now and moving forward, put the first game behind you?
Best thing about being 1-0 is a chance to be 2-0. And we'll look at the film, and we'll make the corrections, and we'll move forward against a really good Miami football team.
We'll wrap it up with Gene.
Will, does today's game make you feel any better about creating the explosive plays that you're looking for, or is that kind of still to be determined?
No, I've got a lot of confidence before today, and then I feel even more so after today. Because when we're able to run the ball that effectively, we're going to create the explosives, and we're going to create it with guys like Quentin Dunbar and Ahmad Fullwood, who made a great third down catch and run. DeMarcus Robinson. I mean, those guys are all guys that the more they play, the better they're going to get, and the more positive steps we'll make forward in our program with those guys making explosive plays. And when we're able to run the ball effectively like that, we're going to create some opportunities for us down the field because people are going to load the box. And that was something we didn't do as well last year as far as making those. I certainly see that happen. I saw it all through camp against a pretty good defense. So, we'll continue to make strides there.
Thanks, Coach.
All righty.
We have Hart.